Hello everyone, it's Dragonite Saacibo. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. In the previous video, which was inspirational video about coloring books, I've shown you examples of faux stained glass, and today's video is going to be about that. But first of all, I want to say a few things about the stained glass, the traditional methods. Stained glass was used for making decorative windows and other objects such as lamps through which light would pass, and it would create this beautiful effect. Now, glass pieces were normally held together with lead or a copper foil. And today we're going to create something that resembles this look, this stained glass look, that we can use in our art and junk journals and also in mixed media projects. So it's not going to be on glass, that's why we call it faux stained glass. It is going to be on surfaces that are see-through but that are not glass. So in this tutorial, we are going to go through the materials that we can use to achieve this look. Not just the surfaces that we can paint on, but also different types of paints that we can use. We will also look at where we can find inspiration for the actual drawing or a painting on the stained glass. We'll cover that as well. I will create several examples with different types of paints so that you can see how they work, and perhaps you'll be able to choose which one you prefer the best. And in the second part of the video, which will be released later on this week, we will go through what we can make with these artworks and how we can apply them to our junk journals, and how to glue them, attach them, and how to create with them. As you can see from the examples here, all of them were painted on a see-through surface. I've tried using two different types of plastic. Most of them were done on these. They are transparency films or acetate. They come in different thicknesses. I'm not sure what the thickness of this one is because I don't have the original packaging, and these were probably about 20 years old. They're relatively thin. I had thicker ones before, but unfortunately I don't have them anymore. You can also use something like this. Sometimes you buy things and they come packaged in these acetate clear packaging, so cut out a section and recycle it and use it to create stained glass. I have one more example here. Okay, I would cut maybe that flat part and use it to create a little specimen. Over here I have a silicone stamp that I haven't opened yet. They usually come with that. Okay, so you can use those. That's acetate as well. Cellophane, you could use it, but I'm afraid it is a little bit thin and flimsy, but it could work possibly. I haven't tried. You're welcome to try and see if that's something that you want to do. Why not? You can also paint on those laminating sheets if you have any. And one more thing, this is vinyl. You can tell it's vinyl because it's flexible. I used vinyl to create project bags, and I have a few leftover pieces. Vinyl is a bit thicker, but it's flexible and it's see-through, so that's also great to use. It can be recycled like this one. That's also vinyl but a bit thinner. It could also work. So any plastic that is clear can be used. Either buy some acetate sheets, or if you prefer recycling like me, just look at your recycling bin and see what you can find. A lot of products that you buy these days will come with some sort of acetate packaging. This one was done on vinyl. It's really flexible. I was swatching the paints and I thought that would make a great bookmark. Love that. When I think of stained glass, the first thing that comes to mind is leading or copper coiling, which are the lines, okay? And there are paints that allow you to imitate that look. I have several examples here of these contour paints. They're not all from the same brand. I bought this one recently in black. I have this one from that brand, also black. Then these ones were really good, a bit more expensive, but I really love using these. You might have seen me use them in other projects. I love to paint not just on acetate or glass with them. I have brass, silver, copper, white and gold. And I think this one, this is really old now. I think this one is silver. One is enough. You don't have to go and buy all of them. Choose simply what you love. I've tried them all, I guess, but I love the look of the brass one the best. And I also like black. When it comes to the paint that you're going to use to add color to your projects, there are 5 different paints that you can use, and I will show you how to use each one of these that I've discovered. Most of you will have at least one of these already if you're serious crafters, and I know you are. Let's first look at the most obvious choice, which is glass paint. This paint works on glass really well, and it also works on all of these surfaces. I've tried and I loved it. They spread easily, they mix really well, they dry relatively fast, and they are stable. I have some glass jars that I painted like 10 years ago, and the paint is still on, even though I washed them in the dishwasher several times. So I'm very happy with these, but I only had these 4 colors. And the other day I went to the shop to buy more, to the same shop where I bought these ones. And I've noticed that they're not called the same. They're not called glass anymore. They call glass and ceramics, although the numbers and the bottles look the same. So I wasn't really sure if it's the same type of paint or not, so I didn't actually get any. Instead, I bought these. Okay, I got all the colors apart from yellow because it's sold out, and I haven't used these ones before. They were like half price compared to these ones. These 4 examples were done with these glass paints. They are not the same as these, okay? These are not resin-based. These are resin-based. And I've discovered that only after I bought them. I didn't read the fine print. I opened up some of them and I thought, oh my God, this is so thick and it smells really strong. And then I took a photo of this fine writing and I read they are resin-based, which means I wasn't able to clean my brushes afterwards with water. Instead, I had to use nail polish remover or turpentine or terps. I've tried with alcohol, it didn't really work. And they give lovely result, really thick paint and glassy look, but they have really strong smell and you have to clean the brushes afterwards carefully. Otherwise, if you don't clean them after you use them, they will dry and then you can basically throw them away. They're hard to mix. You can't really take 2 and try to mix. I've tried here and I struggled. It sort of worked. I got some sort of pink with white and orange and a bit of brown, but it was very difficult, okay? It's best to use them straight from the bottle, but they also give nice results and really nice glossy and thick paint, probably more stable and can last longer. Love how that one turned out though, with the white. These examples here were all painted with alcohol inks. I've used this brand and I really love how they mix and how they spread and how thin the glaze is. There's no brush strokes, so really, really enjoyable to work with alcohol inks on these surfaces. And I'll just show you what it looks on the other side. One side it usually ends up with more texture and the other side is smooth. And what I love about alcohol inks, if I made a mistake, for example, like here, I could just take some alcohol and rub it off. Use a cotton bud or something and just clean the area. Although the fumes are a little bit too much if you work for a long time, I still really enjoyed working with those. And guess what? I had to try with nail polish. Loved it as well. It's very similar to these paints and even smells the same. These smell like nail polish. They're probably something similar to that. Although nail polish is a little bit more opaque and more dense than the resin-based glass paints. Love that one there. I used a nail polish, the blue one with a bit of glitter. So that turned out all right. But the smell was really overpowering for a while. Even my husband said, oh, the whole house smells like nail polish now. But you can definitely work with nail polish. If you want to do this and you don't want to invest a lot of money into buying paints because you're going to make a few. And if you have a few nail polishes at home, maybe you just need to get one of these contour paints and you're good to go. these ones that I really like as well. Can you guess? These were done with alcohol markers. I used these ones. It was really easy. This was the easiest to do and I enjoyed it. And I even like the fact that I can see the strokes. I can see the little lines. I love that effect. So I'd say they're really great for finer detail, easy to apply, no brushes to clean afterwards, and no strong smells. Not as much as, for example, nail polish or the resin-based glass paint. And I was lucky to get some new markers for Valentine's from my husband. I love him. He just knows how to make me happy. Just buy me more art supplies. Okay, let's have a look at where we can find inspiration for these projects. My number one choice would be to use my own artwork, whether it's drawing or painting or even my own photographs. What's great about this is that the surface we are using is usually see-through and it's so easy to trace the design. I plan to do this one, which is my own watercolor done with natural dyes. I'm going to show you how to trace on that example, so I'm going to put it aside. You can also do like geometrical designs or abstract designs. You can do mandalas, you can do anything, just make your own design. Love using this checkered paper for that because it's easy to create something that's symmetrical, but it doesn't have to be. You can do like free flow abstract work as well. It would look beautiful, I think, especially with alcohol inks. Another great source is perhaps fabrics. Look at that. I was thinking of doing that as well one day. Maybe that part there. So fabric can be another source of inspiration. Then all sorts of printed materials. For example, cards, postcards, napkins. I used that napkin to do that design. Okay, traced over that. There are some butterflies here that I could trace. There's the dragonfly, a bird. I used this butterfly here to trace over that design. Also magazines. I received this magazine from one of my followers, Linda, almost a year ago, I think. And it had beautiful, beautiful birds inside. I've used that one to trace over that bird. Okay. You don't have to follow exactly as it is here. You can add or subtract. I used that one for this bird. Okay. And it's not like you're copying someone else's work. You use it more as an inspiration because even if you wanted to, you could never make it that perfect. This is about making your drawing stylized in a way where you have flat panels of color. It does look different than the original, obviously. I had to try with some of my own digitals. I used that one there. As you can see, it doesn't look anything like that. It's got the outline, but it's a different bird. And then this one here, okay? It doesn't look the same, so basically use that as inspiration to create these. Now the coloring books, as I said in the previous video, are a great source of inspiration for stained glass because they are simplified drawings, okay? Usually without too many details, and they're easy to trace and then fill the areas with the colors of your choice. I've shown you that example in the previous video where I used it to trace over the design to embroider. And then I tried the same thing with stained glass. I traced over it so you can see that same image. Now, that one there, but it's embroidered and then here painted with nail polish as a faux stained glass. This part here, that flower there, that's that one. Okay, traced that one and then painted it. Now this butterfly, that came from there. So any printed material such as books, magazines and printed paper, you can use that as a source for the inspiration. So let me show you first how to trace the design. I'm going to use this packaging. Seems to be the right size. I'm going to use black because you'll probably be able to see better than if I use any of the metallic ones. I have some napkin here so that I can wipe the nozzle if I need to. I'm going to turn it that way. It's just easier for me to draw these big petals. And I'll just start from here. So you have to go slowly. You can't really rush this, because if you go too fast, you'll have gaps. And even if you do, that's all right, not a big deal. You can always go back and fix it. Because this contour paint is basically going to hold whatever paint you put inside. Apart from the alcohol markers, they don't really run and go everywhere. You can also add extra lines. I mean, we're doing full stained glass anyway. They don't have to be always closed areas. We can add line work too, if you think that's going to make your final result better. Now let's do this one. Bud. I'll just make a thicker line here. Maybe for this one I can do thicker. Here we have a leaf. One more here. So that would be the drawing part, and then you have to wait till this is completely dry before you can paint it. I plan to do this one with alcohol inks, so I'll put it aside. While that is drying, let me just show you how to do this with markers. I have this design that I've already transferred onto vinyl with silver. Okay, and that was that butterfly. Of course, I can use any color I like, but I'm just going to follow this. So let's see, I will need some blue. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to need orange, some yellow. Maybe I'll use this light orange, some brown, dark brown, and this color, maybe that's the closest to that one. I'm going to start with the orange. You just fill in everything that's within the lines. It's quite easy. It's done. Let's use, I'm going to use this tip. Okay, I have the blue here, the dark brown. I'm gonna go with here with dark brown. And that part too. And then there's some over here. Okay. It's quick. And then yellow. There. And what's left is this color. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to use dark brown for the middle. Okay, for the body. Let's have a look. Nice. I love it. I love it. It's really nice with markers. Beautiful and so easy. So if you have some markers, you can use them. Now, let's do the nail polish. There's my inspiration. So I will need yellow. I've got the yellow, white, and black. And this for the branch. I didn't really mark where the white and where the yellow is, but that's all right. I'll just blend them in. So I'll start with that part there, the body. So, and if you wonder why did I buy yellow nail polish, I have no idea. I've never painted my nails in yellow. And why I got it, it's a mystery to me too. But for a while I thought I should have every possible shade of nail polish. So just do like that. Love these little birds. So cute. Okay, now white. It's actually gray, not so much white. So I'm just going to add a touch of black here. Now in stained glass, you normally would use like pieces of glass that's just in one color. I'm doing a bit of blending here, but that's all right. We can do whatever we want. Just blend white and yellow first. Might use a different brush to blend white with black. Just add a little bit more. You have to work fast though with these. Just going to use this brush. is because I don't have a grey nail polish. Alright, so now we have to do, let's continue with the white. I think this part here is meant to be white, and that as well. The little cheeks. I have a few of these birds that come regularly to my window. I leave them food. And even the tails can go white. And now black. So I can see the top of the head a little bit underneath. The wing is kind of not completely black and not white, so it's got lines, but we'll see. I love them. Go with black first. I'll put some nail polish inside of this little thing. Been reusing it. Okay. And clean the brushes inside. And then white. It's amazing how quickly it dries. So now I'm going to use white again. This is almost to the end. I think I will use this one. Yeah. Then I'm going to go over with that part where I put some black. Cute. And I've got this, yeah, brown. It should work. This one's really runny. And with stained glass, normally the whole area is painted, including the background. And I've done it in a few examples that I've shown you, but most of the time I don't. I just leave it clear. It's up to you. The white areas have been covered. Good. Such a cute little birdies. So that's how you do it with nail polish. Let me just show you how to do this with these proper glass paints that are resin based. I'm going to do this mushroom. I think that's the one. Yep. Orange, white, probably need some brown. I might even add a little bit of green. I have some soft brushes too, but I find that these that are meant for oil painting work better because this paint is really thick, as you will see. Similar to nail polish, if not the same, you see? Very thick. So I'm gonna go with the orange first. They're like a glaze. Probably work even better on real glass. I might add a bit of red while it's still relatively easy to spread. Once it dries, it's almost impossible. Actually, you'll be able to add more color on this side, but it wouldn't be visible on that side. Continue with the red here, and maybe here a little bit of red, and then I'll continue with the orange. must say, when I first tried these, I was a bit upset with myself for buying the whole lot. I was surprised that they were like this. Didn't realize, I thought they were like the other ones. So in first instance, it threw me off. But now that I've tried a few times, I really love it. I love the colors. I'll just wipe this a little bit. So now let's see. I will go that part with brown. I don't necessarily follow all this here. All right. Oh, I just saw there's a few smaller ones here. I forgot about. I'll just go with the red. And I think this part here, although we have a snow here, I think I'm going to go with the green. Like moss. Just go with the green. Forgot to peel off that tape. I will just try something, just to add a little bit of brown and green to create that like a shadow effect while my brush is still covered. I'm going to continue with the white. This is a lot of fun. Almost like coloring books. It's actually quite similar, you know, you just concentrate on filling the area within the lines. Although I do tend to go all over the place. Not so good at following and staying within the lines. Okay, just mix those up a little bit while they're still fresh. Okay, and I think I need to add white here. Really rich color. And let's not forget to clean the brush. Okay, let's take a look at this side. I love it. I can't put it all the way down because the paint is still fresh. We'll do that later on, but that's it. I love my mushrooms. Okay, we tried that. Now let's take a look here. I'm going to show you how to use those. And with those, I've been using just these soft brushes, like watercolor brushes. This drawing was done on vinyl, not on acetate. And I used copper here, copper contour paint. I'm going to put some tape here because it keeps lifting up. And the image is from a coloring book. I think I only have 4 colors to go with. So I guess the green for the leaves and yellow, and then if I want to have a purple flower, I would have to mix these two together. I also have some water here in case I need to clean brushes. So I'm going to start with the leaves. Okay. Love how these mix, almost like watercolor. They're a little bit less opaque than the ones I've shown you earlier, the resin-based ones. And even though they're water-based, they're still permanent once they dry. It's just they spread so much easier than the other ones. And because I'm limited with just 4 of these colors, to get a bit of variety, I'm going to mix other colors with the green. Just to get a different shade of green. And then for these leaves, maybe I can mix green with blue. Let's see what that would look like. I will apply the blue perhaps just around. These don't dry so fast, so you have time to blend the colors. And you probably noticed that I'm going over the lines, the copper, which is alright because they are runny. They actually don't stay on it. They just fall off. It's alright. Let's now add some green. So it's different type of green now. So much fun. I keep thinking perhaps I could paint the windows in my studio with stained glass like this. Wouldn't it be fun? Doing it on a larger scale. Okay. I love how rich and colorful that is. Perhaps I will add a little bit of yellow. Now the flower, we'll start with the yellow around the edges. I'm gonna go with red now. I have a leak here. Go with the red. Mix it up with the yellow. It feels so much like working with watercolors. Just tapping. Okay, and I think I want to add a little bit of blue in the middle here where the red is. I'm going to take some red out, like so. Gonna let that dry. Let's see. Wow, love these paints. That looks nice. I'll let it dry really well. I want to show you how to do this with alcohol inks, but this is not dry completely, as you can see. If you decide to use a heat tool to dry, don't bring it too close to this. You will melt the acetate or whatever you're using. My original was even more blue before because these natural dyes change color, of course, so it's more like grayish blue now. But I'm gonna go with brighter colors. I mean, alcohol inks, why not? So I've got aqua green, Caribbean, gentian, apple green, olive green. So I might even add a bit of purple. Amethyst. Okay, this is really bright. I'll add this to the top of the petals, just like that. And I'm gonna go with this blue. Oh, I love how they mix. And then I'm gonna go with this purple one. I like how the paints push each other as you work. You keep adding and then they just push one another. Nice. Now let's do the leaves. These are very useful to spread and clean mistakes. I might add a little bit of brown, like so. Let it spread, and a bit of yellow. Just the tips of the leaves. Just for a bit of variety. Apple green. Okay, that's it. I'm quite happy with it. Love how bright that blue is and the green, and on that side that's what it looks like. It's not dry yet, so I can't really put it all the way down, but I love that blue there with purple. So that's how you do it with alcohol inks. All right, so I'm gonna let these dry completely, and then we'll go and look at each one together and see what we think, what would work best for us. Ta-da! They're dry and ready to be used in journals. I really love how these turned out. Let's take a look on the other side that has more texture. I don't think there's right and wrong side with these. It's just whatever you prefer, and they're meant to be viewed from both sides anyway. I hope you can join me in the second part where we're actually going to use these to create things for our journals. So it should be really fun process video. Thank you so much for being with me today. I hope I see you soon in my next video. Bye for now.